Liam, welcome, my love. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. How are you? Happy to see you, my love. I am so happy to see you. We have another beautiful discussion today. Guarding young minds. What garden are we growing? What garden are we growing, my love? Your little young minds are very impressionable. All right? Yes, darling, yes. I am truly happy to see you. Happy that you are here with me. Yeah, so I would like for us to discuss it today. All right. I hope that you're hearing me very well. I hope you are hearing me well. Let me just bring up something here on my screen. How was school today? Did you go to school? How was it? Okay, you're not hearing me very well. I really do need a mic. Let me put it a bit closer. Hoping that you will. How is that? How is that? This is where I'm sitting. Let me know how it is. Great is our God, and greatly to be praised. Welcome in, my friends. Welcome, welcome. Thank you all for coming. Great is our God, and greatly to be praised in the city of our God. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. All right, I'm happy to hear that you're hearing me better. So this evening, we are taking a look at how we guard our little ones' minds. Because, as I said earlier, your minds are very impressionable and you learn easily, especially the negatives, especially what we don't want you to learn. You learn it so well and so quickly. So young minds are like sponges. We have to be very careful what it is we allow out there. What us as content creators feed you all. We have to be extremely careful because a lot of children are on these social platforms and the persons that they really do love to watch, in many occasions they are not good. All right, they don't teach them positivity, they don't teach them positive stuff. And if we all have a role to play in teaching or guarding those young minds, we all have a role to play. Welcome everyone, welcome to you all. Thank you all for joining. I really appreciate you all being here. Now, let us look at some factors as it relates to our young ones. Where is my, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay. Let me plug in my device. Hold on. Hold a bit. Let me plug in these devices. I would love for some adults to join. I would have loved it if some adults would join us. But even the adults too, there are certain contents that they don't watch. There are certain contents you will not get even the adults to watch. So if the adults are not watching positive contents, how can the children do any better? The children won't be able to do any better because of our adults. All right? With this topic, I am aiming at creating a positive mindset, creating emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. We know in this world where social media is now the new norm, it constantly influences young minds. We have to look at these young minds as a garden, and whatever you plant in that garden, that is exactly what you're going to get. If you plant corn, then it's a sure thing that you're going to get corn. If you plant a soursop tree, a sweet sop tree, if you plant pumpkins, whatever tree, whatever fruit you plant, that is what you're going to reap. Now, we have seen in this society where children and adults alike are very negative. They do not try to instill positivity and constructive um, constructive behaviors in children. What do? Instead of harboring positive thoughts, they look for everything that is negative. In many households, that's what we see. In many families, we have seen where the children rules the home. The children tell the parents how it is done, how they want things to be done, and how things goes around here. Now, it's not supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to be like that. All right? Young minds are very impressionable, as I said earlier. What our young ones see, what they hear, what they experience, and whatever they absorb, These are the main things that shapes them into the adults that they will become later on. So guarding their minds means being intentional about what enters into their little minds, what enters into their thoughts, and what it is that gives them self-worth, what makes them feel worthwhile. Everyone deserves the chance to grow in whatever area, but especially the young minds, the young children, especially children from all ages, especially the younger ones, because you have to train them. You have to train them from they are very young into the men and women that you would want them to become. So training them doesn't mean you're going to wait until they are at a certain age before you start to instill discipline in them. All right? No, not at all. Children deserve the chance to grow without being overwhelmed by all the negatives that we face on a day-to-day basis. The violence, manipulations, the stress from adults, the stress that we put on these young minds. Our adult burdens are too much for them at such a young age. Sometimes you, as adults, we burden them with our burden. All right? Parents, we are still learning every day as parents. We still do learn because each child is unique, each child is different. So we grow along with them, we grow with our children. And as I've heard before, the first one is, on many occasions, is the guinea pig. That's the one you'll learn from. Your mistakes, you make a lot of mistakes with the first one, and you try not to repeat the same mistakes with the second one. All right? So we don't want to influence them negatively. Social media is one of the main factors. Social media is one of the main factors where children thrive or not. It seems as if I'm gonna have to go inside because it's raining and I don't wish for this rain to wet my device. So pardon me while I go inside, all right? And I know that you would hear me better. So just give me a minute. Let me gather my stuff. And cause your rain to fall. Open the floodgates. That's right. That's right, Liam. That's all right. Liam, you're so right, my friend. Young minds are always very curious. That is why, whatever they hear, something new to them, something that is strange, they gravitate toward it. Something that may seem funny, even though it may not be funny, but they gravitate to those things. And that is why we have to be extremely careful what it is we put out there for them to consume. Because while some persons have no thought to these children, they don't care what they are fed as long as they are getting the attention that they want on their platform, then it's all good. And it should not be like that. For views, for likes. And the young children are there and they don't care. So for us, We have to make a difference. That's our role as humans, to make a difference. Not every shoe fits everyone. Everyone have a role to play, and we should play our role intentionally and positively. Give the children a chance to grow and develop without being overwhelmed by what society thinks or deems norm. A child's mind is fertile grounds. Whatever we plant there will grow. Phones, apps, whatever, music, just name it, anything that has to do with online trends. Heavily, and I mean, a great emphasis on heavily influences their identity and behavior. There are certain narratives that society pushes on these young ones, and it is our responsibility as parents, whether it be mother, father, uncle, sister, brother, cousin, niece, nephew, however it is, to protect those young minds, guard their young minds. So we are imploring the adults who may be listening to help to safeguard the little ones' minds today more so. Not that it hasn't been happening from long ago. A lot of negatives has been happening for years. But now that we are living in the digital world, it's worse. It has gotten severely worse. So we have to monitor them on these devices to see what they are exposed to. We have to have that kind of discernment as parents to look out for them. When a child is unmonitored and that child goes on social media, let's say that child have a social media platform, maybe YouTube, maybe TikTok, whatever, Facebook, whatever those apps may be, they are exposed to cyberbullying. And especially if it's a child who may look different or behaves different, have a behavioral problem, maybe that child is I'm gonna look at a child being big, and when I say big, that child can be very tall, and it's a young child. That child can be very tiny, the stature of the child, also how fat the child may be, big in body, not skinny, not tiny. And sometimes even when they are tiny, they get bullied also. So they get cyberbullying in every aspect. Whatever aspect we can think of, they are bullied. And as I said earlier, it is our responsibility, our duty to see to it that they are protected. We must be the ones who protects those minds. You have children who goes to school and they wear makeup for some reason or another. I'm not a makeup person, but you have some children who loves makeup. They have to wear it. All right. And when they see this other child is not wearing the makeup, they might be bullied just for that. A child who reads a lot, they call them a nerd. No, it is good to have knowledge. It is good to be knowledgeable. You cannot have too much knowledge. Yes, you can have too much knowledge of the wrong things. All right. And those are the things that may just influence the young minds. Because, as I said, their minds are very impressionable. For the young ones who are just trying to find a footing in life, it's a very fertile ground. And whatever they see, they adapt. All right. So they see certain things, whether in the home, or this is now a child who has gone on to school in middle school or high school, whatever school it is, and they see certain standards. This child may be able to do that, that child is able to do that, and you're not able to do so. No, that child sees himself or herself as the odd one out, and it should not be the case. Because if you're doing something the right way, then you should not be targeted. But then that's how society is today. You have influencers who are very toxic, and persons love to sit and watch these things, and they will sit on their devices, adults, for the entire day. And there were certain soap operas that I used to love to watch. You had Sunset Beach, you had The Young and the Restless, you had Bold and the Beautiful, name them, all right? And I did not want an episode to miss me. Hold on a second. Hold a second, guys. Hold your horses. A lot of people don't take into consideration these things, but they are very serious. And persons must be held accountable for their children, when they have stepped into certain knowledge, especially if it's not good. Where are the parents in all this? Where are the parents for that child to be watching these influencers and being influenced by them? What happened to the parents? Parents are not watching them closely enough. Parents are not there. Parents are absent, as I was mentioning the other day. And these are the things that happens to our young ones. And now the seeds of negativity has been planted. Oh Lord. Okay. All right, here we go. Where is this? Mhm. Sorry about that, guys. I had to step away for a bit. I don't intend to stay here for very much longer. All right, so um, children live what they learn. I don't know if you've ever heard that saying. Children live what they learn, and children learn what they live. They remember how adults treat them, and as they grow older, if you treat them mean, they're gonna remember, and if you were kind to them, they are also gonna remember. Encouragement. When you encourage these children, encouragement builds confidence. Constantly criticizing them can do a lifetime hurt. It can build lifetime insecurities. You hurt them for lifetime when you use certain demeaning words to them. When you tell them certain things, words like "you will never add up," "you will never be any better than your father." Those words can hurt, and it carries a lifetime weight. Words become that inner voice that carries children right through to adulthood. When we talk about guarding their minds, we're not talking about controlling their every thoughts. We're not talking about controlling them in a negative sense. We are trying to control the way they think negatively and turn those negatives into positives. That's what we try to do. It means that we're teaching young people, we are trying to build that bridge of positivity on how to think wisely, be bold with how they are thinking positively. Who is here with me? Who is here? Miss Gay, blessings, blessings, blessings. I don't know if you are here as yet. Also, when parents fight, the parents are teaching them that's how you treat your spouse. Like, Liam, can I ask you, are you a child or you're an adult? Because you seem to be very grown up. All right, you're here. All right, Miss Gay. Thank you for joining, my darling. Thank you so much for being here. Miss Gay, our topic this evening again is guarding young minds, protecting our garden. Just like when you plant something, Miss Gay, you have to protect it from the cow and the goat, not you and the fowl. Yes, Miss Gay, and it was raining. Not very heavily, but it was raining. So just like how you would plant the banana, the plantain, the pear tree, the breadfruit sucker, the cherry tree, and you don't want insect to eat it down. You don't want cows or goat or even chickens to come and scratch the corn that you just planted. When they just start to peep up, yesterday the chickens come and they start pick off the head of the corn. Okay, you're a teen. Wow. Well, you're a very wise teen. I can tell you that. You are a very wise teen because this what you typed in the chat between day before yesterday and today, trust me, this seems to be an adult I'm speaking with. And I mean, probably somebody about 19, maybe 18 to 20 and upward. But you are very wise, so I want to give your parents credit. I think I should be crediting your parents for the thoughts and the mind that you already have. Yes, Miss Gay, we have to guard the young minds. We have to guide and guard their thoughts and their minds. You're welcome, Liam. Blessings, my darling. Blessings. We have to guard and guide their thoughts. In even just like brilliant minds. Yes, Miss Gay, very. No, Liam says when parents fight, the parents are teaching the children that that's how you treat each other. That's how you treat your spouse. Mommy is always bickering at daddy, and mommy is using something to always hit him, or she's slapping him around, because you have some women who are like that. And then you have some men who they are very, very disrespectful, very arrogant, and they cannot, you're not seeing the comments. Miss Gate happened to me sometimes, you know. It happens to me sometimes. Um, what can I tell you to do? I don't even know what to tell you to do. Probably have to close it and come back in. Skip off, close the app, and try again. I don't know what else to tell you. When I am on the road, when I go by the cancer center, and if I am on somebody, I don't bother to go, I cannot go on anybody live stream. It don't make any sense because they won't know that I'm there. Really? You're not seeing the rest of comments? Probably you need to go out and come in back. Maybe. Not sure. Yeah. So Liam said earlier, before you came, he said curious minds always want to experiment what they see. And it is true. It is so true. All right, Miss Gay, you're not missing anything much. Liam says, I would say I'm a child, but I am a teen. So he's a teenage. He's teenage. All right. So as I was saying, Miss Gay, we have to be very careful of what we put out there. Social media, yes, man. Yes, this is something that needs to be talked about, and you don't hear persons talking about it. You don't hear persons exercising these things. Why? Because they have to do some extraordinary things so that they will get the views, they will get the comments, and the comment going crazy, and do the reaction videos. Everybody want money. Everybody want money. I wouldn't mind if I was making money on this channel. All right, but it is what it is, and I am not going to go overboard just for views and comments. All right, I'm not going to influence the young ones' minds in a negative way just to have views and comments, just so that persons will run come and see what is happening over Auntie Hannah's Storytime channel. Rob and child of God, big up yourself. Bless up yourself, my brother, every time, every single time. Yes, that's right, Miss Gay. That's right. We all need money. As long as you're alive, you need money. As long as you're breathing, you need money. All right? So, persons are making crazy money on YouTube, and that's fine. That's fine, because you can really earn from doing YouTube. You can. But persons are putting out some contents and children are watching them. Nothing extra or misleading. That's right. No, parents are not even watching what their children are watching. They're not safeguarding their minds. All right? They are just on the apps at their own will. Nobody to tell them, no, don't watch that. Do not do not click on that. That is not, or put parental control on these things. They don't care, because they are also scrolling, and they don't have the time to, they are not taking the time out to stop their scrolling just to have to be chasing behind the child or to watch what the child is doing. And that is why a lot of children are in the predicament that they are in today, because the parents now have no time for them. All right. So protecting our young ones. Let me see where I am. I took some pointers here. Um, Children need safe spaces to express their emotions without shame and without being disrespectful and without them getting disrespected. It means that teaching young people how to think wisely and question harmful substances that they may be taking in. And instead of taking in these negative influences and these harmful negative influences, whatever they are, we try to um, send the mind thinking in a more healthy way, making healthier choices, making progressive choices, choices that you can live for years. Yes, you're gonna make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Miss Gay, I heard when you have your first child, it is that's your guinea pig. Right. There you go, Miss Gay. There you go. So when we are talking to our children and we are telling them, I was even talking to one of my sons last night, and young people not like when you talk to them, you have some young people that think that you don't love them. When you talk to them, when you sit them down and you try to show them the right way because you have been down that path and you don't want them to visit that path, and you say to them, listen, let's say for instance, let's say, mm, do not do not keep company with that young man because I know what he does. That's not a good company for you to follow. He is not good for you, especially if it's a child who is easily led, especially if it's a child who is easily swayed. You have to now be behind that child, telling him or her not to keep that kind of company. And when you tell them that, they think you don't like them. You try to dictate to them, or you're trying to um tell them what to do. But of course, you're the parent. So if you see they're going down the wrong path, it is your you have to make it now your business to let them know that they're heading in the wrong direction. You have to let them know. You cannot allow them to continue on that path without saying anything. Everybody is allowed to make their own mistake, their own fair share of mistakes. But as long as you're a parent, it's your duty, it's your responsibility to tell that child you are wrong. You see a child come home with something that you didn't give that child any money to buy that stuff, um or to come home with a new pair of shoes. Where did that child get it from? That child is wearing something that you didn't buy. Where did that child get it from? Yes, none of us wants our children to destroy their lives. It's our point. Thank you to steer them in the right way. That's right, Miss Gay. That's exactly what I'm saying. Give me a second. I have something on the fire and I have to keep checking on it. Give me a moment. I just pot roast a piece of beef. So I have to check it out. I have to test the waters. Good. So we have to help our young ones to make healthy choices, healthy decisions, where they go, what music they listen to. When my children were, when the older ones were like in their teenage years, there are certain music they had to listen. Me tell you all the while, do not play them kind of music there in the house. You have young children here, and you know you cannot dictate to another person outside your home what to play. And I had that problem. Persons living next door to me. JB, what I want? Welcome, my brother. Welcome, welcome. What's up? Blessings, JB. Blessings. Bless up yourself. Really happy to see you, JB. How am I doing this? Oh. Miss Gay, you're there, Jamaica, burn up on me over here. Cold, in my room, cold. Auntie Hannah, happy, lovely evening to you and all the lovely people in the house. Miss Gay says, but young people will say, we are miserable, we don't like. There you go. And that's true, we get all. Them not gonna get all, you know. How Mrs. Society look right now. Me don't know if them are gonna live to reach my age. Some of them young people here. We chat too much. Yeah. And we are living in the past. Exactly so, Miss Gay. You are 100% right. Yes, them play derogative music. Yes. And you can't talk to them. People live next door me, and when me talk and say they can't play, so me not like them music the way them a play. Because me have small children over here. I wonder why make Dre Brown come a quarrel with me. JB, what me do? Miss Gay, do you know a man, he was a YouTuber. Him name Big Stone. Claude Sinclair. Me used to follow him. Right. That's what I'm saying, JB. You can't go next door, go tell the people them say, listen, no play that kind of music there. You can't go over there go tell them that. You know? But at the same time, it is messing up your child's thoughts. You know? Especially, you see, when Cartel they just come out and Cartel a lick some shot, some music where him a play. Oh Lord. Yes, I've just heard because he was battling prostate cancer. And is somebody who I've spoken to before. Talked to him more than once. And when he was getting his treatment and so, herb, he had a friend who studies herb or herbs. So we would talk from time to time. He passed away last month. Probably a couple days before he died. He made his last post. I mean, I say him put out nothing more. I mean, no say he was sick. So me I say, do Lord. I mean, I hear nothing, me not see nothing. So I go online last night and check. He passed. He passed, my love. All right. So these children, yeah, man. I was going to put it on my other channel, but me not get a chance yet for put it on the other channel. The Knowledge Nest. Maybe you know that channel, maybe not. JB, you know that channel there. The Knowledge Nest. Ernest Smith and Kukudu, I did a tribute to them. And I'm gonna do a tribute to I'm gonna do a tribute also to for Big Stone. Yes, it's on the internet that I went. I checked on Google what happened because I'm not seeing him. And that's what Google told me. Yeah, Google told me that he's no longer here. And yeah, surely I was surprised. Even though he was sick, we shouldn't even be surprised when someone passes, because today you're here, tomorrow you're gone. We never come here to live forever, you know. We're not here to live forever. And that is the reason why we need to live intentionally. All right? These little ones, we need to make a mark on them, leaving our legacy behind, because we all have something to leave behind. Leave something positive. Leave something positive for them. Yeah? Let me see. This done. Hold on. Leave something positive for these young ones. Because guess what happened? You never can tell how much you can dissuade a child into not doing something or not living a certain kind of life. Sometimes the parents don't even know the children that they have living with, you know. What me do now? What J Brown, please, if you can tell me what me do. Please. What it is that I have done. What have I done? Miss Gay, see if you can find out from JB what me do there. Please. Because me no know what me do. I have no clue. Yes, my friends. Yes, me friend. Me good friend. We day a street again. Oh Lord. All right. So, J Brown, welcome, me darling, once again. Thank you so much for being here, Miss Gay. And Liam, I'm not sure if Liam is still here. Probably he went to do his homework, not sure. But thank you to everyone who is here so far. All right, you're still here. Wow. Thank you for still being here, Liam. Thank you so, so much. You are amazing. All right, so here is a little one right here with me. And we have to be mindful of what we are growing. Thank you, Liam. Thank you so, so much. We have to be very careful of the young minds that we are weaving, the webs that we are weaving, the thoughts that we are weaving. All right, for these young minds. All right. All right, my boss. All right. Oh my goodness. I think it's the time for it, you know. I think it's the time. I think it's the time for being sick, children being sick. Yeah, because my three of my grandchildren back home were also sick, fever. Mm-hmm. And I heard there is an Ebola outbreak or something like that. I did not read that news, but they are talking strongly again about Ebola. When you go on the road, people, when you go on the road, please, you know, I went to my appointment today. I went to my cancer appointment, my cancer treatment. I did chemo today again. And when I went, as the minute I stepped in the house, I removed my shoe, I removed my clothes, I put away my clothes properly, because you don't know the germs that you're taking back into your home. So you have to be very careful. Today, so much disease is going around, so much viruses is going around. We have to be careful. When I went there and I come home, I take off my clothes, they're in the dirty clothes. Tomorrow I'm wearing back the pants. I put the pants up, but I'm wearing it back tomorrow. I don't love to wash black pants too often. It wash out the dirt. Can I tell you, JB? And I bathe. As me come in, me no do nothing at all. Me go bathe. Because you have to contain the spread of these viruses. And how do you contain it? You don't carry it into your home. You take off your clothes and you keep it at a separate location. When you take it off, if you're going to wear it again. All right? And you wash and sanitize your hands. If you're not going to be able to change that clothes when you wear, go out for the day. And these are the things that we should be investing in teaching, spreading awareness on these things. All right? Now, let's get back to the story. Our little ones needs guidance. They needs a fair chance to grow. They needs a fair chance at living a wholesome and a healthy life. And with us as I'm not gonna say I am an influencer. I leave that for the bigger people. I'm not an influencer, but I try to influence young minds in every aspect, whether in my daily living or even here on this platform. Children need safe space to express their emotions, all right, without you beating them down. There was a time when you used to hear children should be seen and not heard. Make a daughter and her little son. My goodness. Miss Gay, you have if you do hush. So sorry to hear that, my love. Sorry to hear that. All you don't try protect on yourself. All right? Yeah, try protect on yourself. Because everybody no need for sick. Once one person sick, everybody gets sick. So just be careful. All right? We always heard you should be heard and not seen as children. And I think that is so wrong. Because children have real emotions too. Children have feelings, real feelings. But how they go about it, as long as it is not in a disrespectful manner, then it's fine. Let them air their growth, because they stress too, you know. Every time we go outside and come back in, we have to take off everything and go shower. Yeah, that is how I used to do it, even before COVID. You know, say you have some people, then go up on the road and come back and then just go drop down in a settee. Then just go sit down in a settee, and I don't like it. Chelsea, my daughter, how are you doing, my sweetheart? Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you stopping in, all right? Thank you for checking in. You go out, you come in, you have your settee, you throw down in a settee. That is germs you're putting down in the settee right there. So take off your clothes, put on what you wear into the yard, and put those clothes away. Even that, and wash your hands properly. Discard your clothes when you wear, go out on the street, and after you discard those clothes, you wash your hands properly, and you know, just sanitize yourself properly. Because when you sit down in your couch, you carry the germs from outside. You have to travel with people if you don't have your own transportation. So imagine you rubbing up on other people. You may have gone to the hospital before COVID came in, you know. When I go on the road and come home, I take off my clothes. Yes, my daughter is right here and she can tell you, she can vouch for me. None of them couldn't touch me. When I come back in off the road, none of them touches me until I go into that shower. That is how I am. And here it is. That's precisely what I'm saying. Guard young minds. That is what shapes our young minds. The things that they see parents does, it follows them. Not everyone is going to take off the examples that you have led, but at least you have tried. No one can say you did not try. All right? Not every child is going to be the same. Every child is unique in their own way. Every child has a mind of their own, and they are free to think how they want to think, whatever it is, even if it's bad, and they hear it. Give them that chance to redirect the negative. Give them a chance to hear what it is they have to say. Don't shut them down, because the minute you shut them down, something bad could be happening to them and they never share it. So we have to be very careful on shutting down our children and beating them down. We have to be very careful. And you have a lot of old-time parents, as we would say. What they do, they have trained children, or trained their children, and the children come now and hand down the same principles where you should be seen and not heard. Chelsea, mama baby, welcome hon. Mama love you. You hear? I don't know if she's still here. Maybe she's still listening, but not in the chat. Let me tell you something. We as parents, we must do what we must to safeguard our young ones' minds. We must. But there is a way to do it. There's a right and a wrong in everything that we do. Do not embarrass your child because you're angry. Because you're angry and because you're upset. That will carry the child. Hi, Grandma. Where is Siri? Where is Siri? Chelsea, JB is saying hi to you. JB says, Chelsea, mama baby, welcome hon, mama love you. You hear? She knows, man. She knows that mommy loves her. And in saying so, you have persons who they grow up with that same mindset, and they hand down the same principle that was handed down to them. They don't try to change or to break away from how they were grown. There are things that follows me that I don't believe in. For instance, you allowing your child to go to every party. There's a birthday party keeping around the road. And my children used to ask me all the while, Mommy, can I go to this one birthday party, that one birthday? And they are invited. I said, no. No. Why? Because there are certain people there who I don't want them to mix and mingle with. All right? It's not that I hated them. But when they go, I know what they are going to face. So I did not send them. No. When they ask me if they can go there or they can go, I don't think they're at the age as yet to be on their own to go to certain places. If I send them their school is having sports, of course I send them, but they have a curfew. They have a time when they need to be back home. You can't just have children running loose like that. You are in your bed sleeping and your child gone to party. Nothing don't go so in my cabinet. It doesn't work like that. My 14-year-old is not supposed to be going to no dance. I don't like it. It's something that I hated. All right. So your children should be principled in such a way that if they ask you to go somewhere to do something and you tell them no, your no should be no. And if you promise your child something for good behavior, the child is looking forward to it. Don't break your promise to a child. If you know that you cannot fulfill that promise, do not make a promise. All right? These things hurt children. These things really hurt them. So while we have to give and take with our children. We have to try to be as good as we can. We have to try to be the very best version of ourselves, because our children are now gonna be leading by the examples that we have set. All right. So whatever we have taught our children, and as I said before, not every child is gonna gravitate to what parents said. All right. So guide or guard the young ones' minds. Some important things to take note. Listen without being judgmental. You don't listen to your child. When you tell a child not to go certain place and certain things happen to them. And yes, I'm gonna say that, you see, that's why I told you wasn't to go. This is the reason I particularly told you wasn't to go. Now look at what happened. Had you just listened, that is the way I'm gonna be judgmental. All right. But say something on okay. Thank you so much, Chelsea. Thank you, J Brown. She said she's still here, JB, but she's busy, probably with homework and all of that. Busy young lady, and then she have to go back to work tomorrow. And is she alone? So you know how that go. She only can listen in. Maybe she step away. You know how the house set when you have little ones? JB say. So how she just run in and run out so? That no look good, man. Auntie Hannah, your background look lovely. Yes, man. Yeah. Yes, JB. Thank you. Thank you for still being here, Cello. No, JB, no. Me na in my bed and no picnic boat. They gone. And my children, they can tell you with me. We all grew up together. I learned parenting. Children don't come with a manual. All right? You have to learn as you go along. You learn how to adjust. When I started having children, my life was on hold. I stopped there, and quite frankly, I did not have a life outside having children, because I started having children early. And I was not the parent to go to parties. So, I'm always at home. If I get a day work, that's it. That's it. But I'm always at home with my children because me hardly work. In Jamaica, it's very hard. People say, no, I think maybe it's easier now to get a job than when I was a young lady. Much easier now to get a job. The only job that I could pick up was housekeeping. And it's to go inside people's houses and wash them clothes and iron, cook and all of them good stuff. That's all I could do. But I did it with pride. I did not let that deter me. And that did not define my children. No, that did not define who they are. Put down that phone, young lady. She put it down, man. That's why you not see her. She put it down. She gonna do what she do. She have work tomorrow. Our little one have school next week, I think. But she have to probably be preparing and back to work tomorrow. And the good stuff that parents does when, yeah. So she not up on the phone. That's why you not see her in the chat. So we have to. Children never come with manual. As I said, we have to learn as we go along. Yeah? Now, teaching. As I said, with listening without being judgmental. Let me see an instance. Let's say a child comes home and tells you that somebody hit them, whether it's a big man or a big woman. and you're going to say, I must something you do why they lick you, and you brush it off and you tell the child you don't want to hear anything because it's because something you do why. No, don't you ever do that. There's a saying that cry baby no have no right, something like that. Cry baby no have no never get right, something along that line. But I can tell you something, no matter how horrible the child is, know your children, know all of them. You might have two children and they are two total opposite. You might have 5 pitney and the 5 of them are 5 different character. All right, so listen to your children when they speak to you. When they are hurting, you are their first go-to. You should be the first safe space, the safest go-to that they have. And something happens, leave that room open for them to say, Mommy, you know what happened today? Even if it's something bad, my children can tell you they could talk to me about any and everything. All right? Even if them thief something and them know some me I gonna beat them, still tell me. Still tell me. There is a gem that I learned when I was in school, and it says, he who hides the wrong. How that gem go again? How that gem go? Speak the truth and speak it ever. Yes. Cause it what it will. He who hides the wrong he did does the wrong thing still. I haven't forgotten it. It might slip my mind every now and then, but if I dig, I might come up with it. So if that child has already done something, encourage the child to still speak the truth. And you know, sometimes if that child speaks the truth, they are more to get away. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Cello. Thank you, my darling. So she's cooking, JB. She can't interact in the chat. She's cooking, but she's listening and loving the conversation. Thank you. Now, when a child have a problem and that child comes to you and say, Mommy, you know, I went in the shop today and a thief picked me thief for $20, you know. And he said, Mommy, I found $20. My children, them ever find money. Them ever find money. And them did have to stop finding it at one point. Me say, if you don't find no more money coming out, you not like it. You not find money too often. How you can't find money and me can't find it? Me walk past street every day and you always lucky to find. You not to lie. And that is how I deal with them. And them stop find money. Yeah, man. 3 times is more than enough to tell you this is a lie. And if you encourage that behavior, you thief too. If somebody's money fell out of their pockets and that child saw the person who lost it, probably that's the person's last money. Probably that person was going to buy their night's dinner. Probably they had a child at home who is hungry, who is sick. They are going to get medication. Probably they just got that money. We have to encourage our children to do the right thing, no matter the cost. What are you cooking? No pork around here. She don't eat pork, JB. Definitely not pork. She don't eat pork, JB. So, I can tell you this, and I can tell you with a certainty. If you encourage your children to get away with certain behavior, that is going to grow with them. When they come home, you know, children always lost them pencil at school. Pitney, my daughter can tell you, she's here, and every day she have to give her child a new pencil. Right now, I'm about to buy some pencils to send down, some stationery to send down for them. So even though I don't have no baby, I don't have nobody I go school, me still have to do grandmotherly duties as long as I can. So Pitney always a last pencil, eraser, sharpener, all of that stuff. Sometimes even their books. No man, who she? You know, say, as she supposed to get the less beaten between she and Badman. Between she and Badman, them get the less beaten because them afraid of lick. She was very obedient. Even one of my big sons, who has now changed drastically, them never really get lick because them afraid of lick. So yes, Miss Gay, if you encourage certain behaviors, those children will never stop. So children lose them pencil at school and other children take it away. There you go. So when they come home from school with pencils and with especially books, Pitney name right pan book, and you tear out Pitney page, yeah, carry back. Yeah, carry back and may I make a public example of you. My children, them never play with me certain way, you know. I can tell you, I am being honest. I am being very honest. I did not have it, but I taught them to be satisfied with what I could afford. Many times they went to school hungry because I couldn't prepare breakfast. Sometimes me not have gas. Not even wood me not have to make up fire. But as long as me could walk, me a walk here them go to school and beg lunch for them. That's how I grow my children. And I am so happy because I am very humbled by it. And they are very humble. My children, very humble. You give them anything and they are very grateful. Yes, Miss Gay. Sometimes we have to share our experiences to encourage others. Not that somebody told me not to talk about my business. But it's not that I'm talking about my business. It's that I'm sharing to enlighten others that it's okay when you don't have it. It is okay because you're not going to always have. There are times when you're really not going to have it for a while. There's a time when you have surplus and you can share. Okay, good girl, Chelsea. Whoa, you hear how mama give you credit? Yes, man, good girl. Good girl knows say good girl good. Good girl good like that. My children always say, Mommy, you beg too much. It's okay. Yes. Yes, man. Well, I can tell you something, you know, Miss Gay. I never like that thing, beg. But you say trust, mighty God. Trust to go to the shop and trust. And not embarrass your pitney there and way there. Sometimes I shame to go a shop, go trust. And me send my children them. You know one person who not going. You know one person who is not going. She's not going. And I may need something at the shop. And me don't know where me I get the money from. But me I send go a shop, go trust. Beg was not me. No. It is better to beg than to thief. I am not saying no, but with the pride when me have and the shame, for somebody tell me no, I'm gonna give you an example. One night I was walking past a young man driving a car and he was parked by his gate. I did not know him, but when me tell I say hungry more than me, I was so hungry. And my children too, they were hungry. And I saw him counting some monies. And I was walking past and I kept walking and I said to him, beg you one of that now? I was serious, but at the same time it sounded like a joke. And him said, come for it, man. And I said, what you say? And him said, come for it. You know, ask me for something. And just like that, I will never forget that young man. He don't even remember it because I saw him once and I reminded him. And he said he doesn't remember it. Sometimes I credit, but they're not going. Miss Gay, boy, may I tell you, it did rough. It was rough as parents, especially single parents. It was really rough. But guess what? I grew my children with the grace of God, and I instilled principle in my children. And that is the reason why I will not come here on social media and do certain things just for views, just for money. I will not do it because you don't know who is watching. You don't know who is listening. A lot of young people have a lot of time on their hands, and you can teach them something positive. You can teach them something that is worthwhile. All right? So you teach young people something that they can carry with them. You don't have to demean yourself. Internet act up. Okay, that's okay, Miss Game. I know how the internet system is. But I can tell you that me used to trust enough. Me used to trust enough, man. And many times I would send, some of the children would go, but I don't think it's a good principle. Me not think of something good, because when you send them into that kind of atmosphere, I'm looking at it now as an older adult, and it is not good. Even if someone promises you something, thank you, Miss Gay. Even if someone promises you something, it's better if you went for it yourself. Because sometimes I have heard how some children are sent to collect a bag and how they are violated. It is not safe. When you're sending to credit something from a nearby shop, it is not safe. You're setting up your children. Let us be very careful. Let us protect our gardens. Let us guide and guard our gardens. Let us protect those young minds. Let us shape them into the way where there will be positive people in society, where they can be accredited. Let their minds be shaped positively. Let it be influenced in a way that cannot be taken from them. It builds them instead of taken from them. It's not easy to go to the shop to trust. It is very hard. Look here, I have to wait until everybody come out of the shop. And sometimes me wait for a very long time because me no want nobody to hear. It is very embarrassing. Sometimes me give them one paper to carry to the shop and tell them to hand the shopkeeper the paper. But looking at it now, I am so sorry about it, because a poor little thing them embarrassed, you know. Even though I was an adult and I felt ashamed to do it, but just judge the young ones. They feel shame too. And sometimes people look down on them. Sometimes people handle them a certain way because they're just being obedient to mommy. And when they see you coming, watch her. I better say I just share account just now. You know, so it's really of a fact. It is we should not be doing this. If you need something, I would suggest you as a parent, go and get it yourself. Go and trust. Go and credit what you're crediting yourself. All right? When you go to the furniture store, you don't go there with $100,000 to buy a settee or a fridge, or you don't. It's not safe. That's the first thing. It's not safe to walk with so much money on you in this time. Even using a card, it's not safe. No. You still go and you still credit, don't it? So people do fall on hard times. So I would say if your name good, that's how we would say it in Jamaica. If your name good, you can go see what the shopkeeper can do for you. But don't send the little ones. It's embarrassing. Yes, man. And sometimes some people in the shop and then chat, then get what they want already, you know, and the meat start out in them bag. And they're not moving. And me well want them to left it so that me can beg a blind. But them not moving. Yes, the things we do and go through, looking back now, it's very embarrassing, Miss Gay. Trust me on that. Looking at it now, presently, it's embarrassing. JB says, you know, when it is hard and embarrassing is when you go there and the keep us, I mean, not trust nothing to you. Hey, hey, and they not trust nothing today. Either them not trust you, then can't trust nothing to them, and you owe them $100 already, so then can't go over that. Boy, may I tell you, hey, parents, parents got through it, you know, especially some single parents. Sometimes you have your spouse too, and it is just as hard. Maybe it's not as hard because at least one of them maybe working, and you can say, all right, do something for me until such time. But I can tell you that certain things that us as parents go through, at times, I'm happy that my children never had to face what I have faced in years past. So continue to guard our young minds because Whitney Houston sang, she did a song. I believe the children are a future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Yes, man. So the children are our future. Teach them because at some point later on, they are going to be the ones to lead the way. Teaching emotional intelligence. You have some parents who are very dark. How them parents then now are going to teach children how to be intelligent. You have some children who are very street smart, and you have some are so sheltered, so pampered, they cannot even take a taxi. They don't know which side of the road to go and to flag down a vehicle to go where they are going. So you have some parents, some children who are street smart, and it's very good to have a mix of both. It's not good to cloak up your child too much in that sense. I'm not sure if I'm using the right word to cloak them up, but to grow them too sheltered. Because maybe something, if it's a case where you drive and the child goes to school and you take the child to school every morning and there's someone to go back and pick up that child, even once or twice, let that child find a way to get home on her own. Tell her you're not just going to leave him or her on their own like that. You're going to let them know, go across the street, look up, look carefully from left to right, not up the sky and down on the ground, left to right. All right, and let them look. If nothing is coming, then quickly run across the road, or have an elderly person or someone who is older than you to cross you if you need to cross, if you need to get cross. All right, and stop a car, and you have to teach them certain intelligence. Nowadays you can't even tell them if the car full of man not going there, because you can have a car full of men, worthwhile men who will protect that child, and you have one car full of woman who you never see that child again. So that is where our society is today. So it's kind of very hard as it relates to that. But teach your child. I've been through it as a child. Very embarrassing. Whoa. Miss Gay says, yes, we go through a lot. Some man don't care. My husband did tell me he can't sell. Wow. So I did have to give him. Where I say, you go a Hard Rock Cafe. All right, Miss Sister, I hear you. Yes, that is it. So, teach your children emotional intelligence. When persons are trying to talk down on them, they don't need to, not everything requires an answer. Not everything requires you to be upset. All right? I know a young lady. She works at a certain company, you see? And her boss tried to talk down to her. More than one boss tried to talk down to her. And she don't retaliate. No, she has never retaliated. Beautiful young lady. And I can tell you something. Sometimes some of these people, I don't know. You go into a workplace, into a workspace, and they don't even know how to talk to you. You go to the bank, you get a sour face. You go to the hospital, you can't even talk to the nurse or the doctor. All right? And I don't know if they need to be taught how to be humans, how to be caring, how to be compassionate. I've said this before. If you are doing something that you don't love, I would advise you to leave it, because you're going to dump your stress on others. So in saying so, until you remember when you come home and dinner no cook yet and them call you if you come go a shop and hungry or beat you bad, hey, them something they wicked. Them something there wicked. I never had to go through that though. Yeah, I didn't go through that part. I was hungry, some children eat a lot and you barely give them something to eat, something like that. And then me out a play all day and go home. When me go home now, me afraid come know so me I gonna get a fine whooping. Yeah. But me might want a snack. And by the time she send me start eat the snack and I might want, but me start eat it. And you know how that go when me come back. Yes, all right. So Miss Gay, it has happened to her. But me never really find myself in that. Me go school already. And me never have to go school hungry, you know. No, I did not have to. I grew up somewhat sheltered because it was since I was a teenager. I know about pit latrine. Me never know nothing about it. And I did not know that persons cook their food on wood fire. I thought it was only dog food cooked on wood fire. So that's how I was raised. All right. I did not grow with my parents, as you may have heard me say before, but I grew with strangers. And me kind of grow somewhat in a luxury. Not, I wouldn't say my life was luxurious though, because I was treated like a helper at some point as I grow older. Yeah, but yeah, that was that. So teach your children and everything. They can be very intelligent in how they respond to criticism, how they respond to others who are trying to outshine them, or however the case is. Teach them how to respond positively to negativity. That is intelligence. You have to teach them that. And it is our duty to create a safe, secure environment or environments. You know that this school or this community is not good. I can tell you where I am now. If I had a choice, I would not be living there. I would not be living there. And I don't believe that certain children of certain caliber should be raised in certain communities. But I can tell you something. Good can come out of Nazareth. Yes. Even though you may be living in a volatile community, that doesn't define you. It doesn't defy you. You can still function above. Even those who are living in Beverly Hills, in Jacksonville, you can still outshine and outweigh them. So your community does not defy you. It doesn't determine who you are. I remembered as a young girl living in a certain community and seeking a job. I could not go uptown and tell them that I'm from downtown. I could not do it. Or that I am living in New Haven, or I'm living in certain parts of Duhaney Park. I could not do it. Sherlock, I could not tell him that I'm living in Sherlock. All right? These things hamper you from getting a job. And I think that is so, so wrong because of where you are. Was it Itana who did a song about where she's from? I don't remember what the name of that song is, but I believe the country kids have a little bit easier, in my opinion, than the ones in Kingston. Maybe, maybe it all depends. It all depends, JB. I believe it all depends. All right, let's see. So you're sending them now to the country. And you know, say, when them go a country, them have certain bad influence where them are going to knock head with. Not send them. Do not send them. You're going to send them to Kingston. You're going to send them to Charleston. You're going to send them to wherever it is. And you know that when they go to that community or when they go into that environment, it's going to create more damage than good. Do not send them. If you know that this environment is not good for them, avoid sending them there. Because sometimes in the long run, they will know that you know that a pervert lives there and you are still sending them. Perhaps you were in that position. Perhaps you were in that position too. And you have now taken up that child and you have now sent them into that environment. It is not safe. Do not do it. They are going to a certain school and they are being bullied night and day. Get another school. Pull that child out of school. I have seen so many children losing their lives, young ones, to the hands of peers. If you know that child is being bullied, children don't want to go to school. If it's a child who never likes school from morning, well, it's going to be very hard. And that is why I encourage my children to defer from doing this. You know, me never like Kingston. I don't believe I could live there. Really? I lived there for a number of years. Yeah, man. I lived there for a number of years and I never got mixed up. I am always inside my house. Always inside. If I am outside, me sit down around at the back. Nobody now see me around there, so. Me not go. I'm not a person who love to go to people's houses and sit down and lap fractal. I don't like it. I don't like it. All right, so keep your children safe. Create safe and harmless, secure surroundings for your children. Protect your children. It is not only a parent's job. Not only the parents should protect the children. It is everyone's responsibility to keep children safe. So when they go to schools, it is now the teachers and all of those persons, even the auxiliary workers, to keep those children safe. Sometimes the children are hurting, another one is hurting another one, and when the child go and makes a complaint to the teacher turn the child away. Me Pat Goodman, me turn it off. Me turn it off, Miss Gay. Me wouldn't sit down here, so me turn it off. Thanks. The teacher is not listening to the child. The teacher tell the child to go sit down. You complain too much. And when the child goes and takes a seat, that child is now angry. That is an angry child. And somebody else, or maybe that same child who is picking on that child, continues to pick on that child. You know what happens? I know you're here, my darling. I know you're here, Robin. Long time you're there. Me know, me smell you. Good evening, my darling. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. I shouted you out earlier. You're supposed to hear me. You've been here. I know you have been because my number no move. You're there a long time. All right. So, as I was saying, the child goes back, takes a seat, and me never intend for the here selling, you know, people. Never intend for the here. I will leave my last point right here. The child somewhat is still being picked on. What does the child do? The child fights. Now the child have to fight. Yeah, because the child complained and nothing was done. The child complained to the teacher who was sitting right there. The teacher does nothing about it. And the minute that child starts to fight, the child gets flogging. Because now the teacher sees when the child gets up and probably ram a fist in the other one's face. Yes, she... this piece of phone, what do your phone say? What it want to say? Hi, may I say? And it has say, okay, all right, JB. Yes, if phone them mind their own business. Wrong address. All right, Itana. Yes, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if it was Itana who did it, but Itana did a song about wrong address. And me done pass that's a long time, Cello. Probably you need to update or probably you just get a chance to respond. Yes, man. Yes. The teacher now see when the pitney get up and ram a fist pan the one we are fast with him. And that's the time now she come here, and slap him. And that is so wrong. Because it's not like the child didn't complain to you before, you know. The child made a complaint. And you did nothing. So when the pitney now get irate and start cuss the teacher, you say the pitney have no manners and send for pitney parents. I was sitting right there and she just get up and or him just get up and started to fight the other one. The pitney not mad. The child is not crazy. Raban, man. Brother, wagwan, long time. Raban debout, man. Raban debout, but he's silently, you know? Yeah, because, you know, his challenge and fit type and all of that, yeah. So, saying that to say this, the teachers have a responsibility, but many of them fail miserably because they too help to make matters even worse. The teachers, the dean of discipline, the principal, the vice principal, whoever, the auxiliary workers, whoever they are, the grounds people, they have a responsibility. You are seeing where a fight is escalating and you can de-escalate it, do that. All right? Some of them turn a blind eye because them not get involved. And you have some children who no have no respect neither. You go there as a big person and say, listen, what you're doing is wrong. And I'm talking about my Jamaicans now. Them, that is why this message this evening, it's not reaching the right ears. It's not reaching the right ears. Because you have some parents, children having children, and no make nobody step on your thump a girl or thump a boy or broke your pen in a smaddy. These are the parents that are growing some monsters, and that is why we are seeing how society is today. Miss Gay said, true, I have been through that with one of my granddaughter. She end up, yes, getting the wrong. Yes, people are trouble them are fast with them and when they lash out, they are the ones who get wrong. They care little or nothing. Yeah, okay, you just got the chance to respond. Okay, darling. No, it is so wrong, because you have to look at the coin from both angles, because these children now are carrying weapons to school. All right. And if an adult gets involved, it's likely that that person just may lose their life. And it is a fact. The teachers, they don't even really want to get involved. And when you see the quarreling, if you can de-escalate it in a manner where it's not disrespectful to anyone, but sometimes they pity them to how they were grown, because of how these children today are grown. I am telling you, society, it is so sad. And that is why I am doing this video. Protecting our gardens. Garden young minds. It is all of us responsibility. It is all of us responsibility to play a part positively in how those young minds are focused, where their minds are, where their thoughts are, and how we deal with certain situations as it relates to our young ones. Not because you're not the child's biological mother, father, sister, brother, grandparent, cousin, whatever family member, not because you may not be family or relative to that person, but you still have a role to play in society in guarding young minds. Churches, mentors, media, community, people on a whole, we all as a community influence young minds. If I should behave a certain way right now, let's say I build a new channel and I want that channel to be monetized, and I will, because I've seen adults in the kitchen cooking in panty and bra only, I am positive it wouldn't take me a week to get monetized, and monies would be coming in. And remember now, not every child has parents who thinks positively. You have parents who will watch what their children are ingesting. You have others who don't. Now, let's say you're one of those parents who don't watch your child on the platforms. That child sees that child is a boy. It can be whether male or female. And they see that female. No, they are intrigued. And they would be there. They are just looking at her. Boy, I want a body like that. If it's a female, let's say the female's mind is somewhat pure. Wow, for a big woman, I want to look just like that when I grow up. And no, that child has that thought in her mind. She is now shaping out what she wants to be or who she wants to be like. It has now filtered her mind down that path. All right? Because now, when she sees somebody having that figure, she grows with that. And when she grows up, she might be on the sturdy side where she is plump. Let me not say fat. She is plump. And she hates herself. It's that woman who was cooking half naked in the kitchen that has done that to that child. She hates herself. Her mother cannot speak to her because her mother don't know where it's coming from. And every day she tell you, I hate myself. It's a very strong word, mind you. And she would do everything to shed those pounds. what is this process called when they eat and they take it back up? Bulimic, is it? Something like so. But that child is now, her mind is now functioning not in a positive way. That child hates how she looks. And I wish I could look like this person. I wish I could get that body. And every day that child watches that channel, and every day that child goes out in society and she looks for those people, the plump people who are on the bigger side, they are big boned. Let me say that. She don't like those people. She don't even talk to them because she don't like them already. They are kind people, but she don't like them because of how they look. And I look just like that, even when she is beautiful, because everybody is beautiful and unique in their own way. But no, that person has now painted that child. And the influence has been set. That trend has now been set. The stage is set. That child hates herself. She will not eat. When she eats, she hides and brings it up. And along that line, there you go. Yeah, me said it earlier, JB. Children having children. What we expect? Nothing better. There you go. No, the mother or the father, the parents cannot talk to this child. When the child goes to school, she tries to keep a certain kind of company, but they shun her. They don't want her in a for them league. You know? And even if they accept her, she godolizes or idolizes those that are on the more petite side. And that child is ruined. All right, so let's say a boy is watching. You can imagine the thoughts now that is going through that boy's mind. He wants that body. He have to get a piece of that meat there. Yeah. And it is so sad. It is so sad. And that woman, he calls his friends, know that woman, she's going to be monetized in less than a week. She's going to have her watch hours, and she's definitely going to have her subscribers count. All right? Why? Just because she's cooking naked in the kitchen. In the mornings, she have only an apron on and very little is left to the imagination. That boy sits there and she watches that woman. And every day, that's where he sits. He can't wait. He looks at the time because she comes on at a certain hour and he has to be home. And he can't wait to get home because guess what? No, him little things start get out of control. You understand what I'm saying? And then problem. And him have to get him tissue and all him stuff them together. And him lock up in him room. All right? These things do happen. People don't talk about it, but it's happening. So this is why we have to play our part and guard the young ones' minds. We all have a role to play as media personnel, as teachers, as nurses, whoever our communities are. We have to safeguard our young flowers. Every adult is either building or breaking the next generation. I don't want to know that the legacy that I have left here is to corrupt any young mind. So, today, what are the biggest threats to young minds? What do you think are the biggest threats to young minds? Secondly, how can parents balance protection and independence? What can parents do in order to balance being at home, being at work, and to still be safeguarding your child's thoughts and minds. I did in my earlier discussion a day or two ago, I stated that parents have to work. Parents, it's a must. If you are any well-thinking parents, you have to work. What do you do with your children when you go to work? Here, it's hard. Here, it's hard. If you don't have family members, and even if you have family members here and they're of a certain age, they too have to work. No, I can only speak for Jamaica because that's where I'm from. Guys, if you're here and you did not remember to give me my thumbs up, please don't leave without giving me my thumbs up. I think I earned it today. I think I earned getting my thumbs up. So much people come and pass through and gone and leave a thumbs up. Come on, man, give me my thumbs up. I deserve it. I deserve it. When I give me my thumbs up, when I'm not left with it, please. And don't make me I don't have nothing. All right, good. All right, so no. Imagine parents have to work. Who do you leave those young ones with? When you're home though, as I said, I can only speak for Jamaica. When you're home, you have cousin, auntie, and everybody work. A lot of people at 18 is still at home. 16, 17 still at home. When them come from school, them probably you leave them at a nursery, a daycare or something. And that bigger sibling or however it is, go and pick up that child. Yeah? And you have all of that help home. Here, it is not the same. Totally different. Yeah? All right. So, let us help where we can in balancing. Help where we can. Parents are finding it hard to balance their daily lifestyle, their daily living. So protect the young ones, protect their thoughts and their minds, protect them at all cost if you can. What role? No, this is a big question. What role does entertainment play in shaping our children? I think this should be my next topic. Let me know what you think, guys. Let me know what you think. I think this should be my next topic. Me give you mine long time. I wish I could give you all of them. Can I tell you, J Brown? 4 thumbs up? No, man. No, man. This bad. So when I tell the algorithm, say, when I tell the algorithm, say me worthless. And that do not tell the algorithm, you know? Because me give myself a thumbs up. And Miss Gay, Robin, Chelsea, come with a thumbs up. Come to the front of the line. Come to the front of the line, Miss Lynch, if you're still here. And others who came and left with them thumbs up. I wonder if Liam gave me his thumbs up. Yes, Liam did. He seconded. Yes, Liam did. All right. Let me see. What role does entertainment play in shaping children? We know even there is so much. Entertainment plays a vital part. The songs, the dance, even the advertisements displays. I think I'm gonna make this other topic my discussion. What do you think, guys? What do you think? Tomorrow, what is tomorrow? Thursday? I won't be having a live session tomorrow. I think I now need to schedule myself when I can, because I know every day I go can here. And as I said earlier, I'm trying to hand over this channel to one of my daughters. They are trying to back out on me, guys. But I think this should be my discussion. Um, tomorrow is Thursday, Friday evening. Yeah. All right. So we all know we're going to skip over this one. We're not going to elaborate much, and then we're going to close. And how do we teach confidence